Alright, away we go. Morning team. Slightly in the dark today as a plane flies over. Lovely sunny day here in Marlborough. I hope it is wherever you're tuning in around the world. How much time do we have, Adam Mensch?
15 seconds.
Copy that. Kia ora, my friends. How do you do? I, Benny Ward, am here in the garden for another cold open. This is MML 120. 120. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit underprepared for today's show. I'll tell you why in just a moment. But that's not going to stop me from taking a look back at the week that was, doing live gardening, giving Monday morning shout-outs to anyone who joins us live, like my good friend Lee. Shout out to you, brother. What else are we going to do? We'll play What's in the Bag. We will do live gardening. I'll give you an update on the time that we planted on last week. We'll have Joke of the Week. All those things and many more are coming up right here, right now, on Monday morning live. Whereas I say, I'm a little underprepared. And the reason for that is that this morning I had a dentist appointment. Now, I had a little bit of a tooth break off, and I wasn't sure if I was going to just get a filling or whether it was going to need a root canal. The dentist said, we can do a root canal, and I said, to be honest, it sounds a little unnerving. But not quite yet for Joke of the Week. Shout out to Lisa, thank you for joining. Just saying, I've just come from the dentist, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be swollen, if I was going to be in pain, and so that's why I didn't do a lot of prep for this this particular episode. And I know what you're thinking. I've seen the show before, and you are really telling me you do prep? Well, I do. I like to work out Joke of the Week. I like to do This Day in Rock History. I haven't actually done any research for that, so I'm going to do it live here on the show, just like I'm going to do live gardening. But as I say, I've just come from the dentist, and I'm just going to say, it's so funny, some of the things that people say. So I go into the dentist, right, and the receptionist goes, "Good morning, how are you?" And I said, "Well, I'm at the dentist, so how good could I possibly be?" Anyway, we laughed and laughed, and she said, "That'll be $800, thanks." Just kidding, she didn't charge me. They didn't actually do anything today. I've got another appointment in a month's time. Get this, the appointment is at 2:15. I said, why couldn't you make it 2:30? And that way when someone asks me what time is my appointment, I could say, well, it's for 2:30. Not yet. Shout out to Mum. Thank you for watching. Break a leg. More like break a tooth. Good times at the dentist. How are you? Last time when I went to the doctor, he goes, "What can I do for you?" And I said, "Well, tell me why I'm sick. What do you expect? What can you do for me? You could wash my car. You could clean my shoes. What can I do for you?" And I thought I had something in my eye last time I went to the doctor. And he had a look and he goes, "No, there's nothing in your eye. That'll be $56. And I'm like, "But you didn't even do anything. There wasn't anything wrong with me. I should get a freebie this time." Anyway, let's do some live gardening. Now, I'll give you a quick update. This is the time that I planted on last week. I propagated this 4 weeks ago. This is another little cutting that I took that I didn't obviously plant on, but I just wanted to show you guys just a little quick thing here. What I did is I plucked off a thyme twig, I guess you could say. What is it? Like a thyme, one little twig of thyme, and I took off the lower leaves, right? Strip them off like that and put it in some water. And what happened through the magic of the Benny's 6100 series propagation unit, look at where the roots have grown. So the roots have grown from where those side leaves were, not from actually the base of the cutting, it's grown from the sides. So that's a good little tip. Anytime you're doing any propagating using water, using a cutting, always cut off those little side shoots, and that's where the roots will grow. There's an update on our thyme. Today we're gonna sow some seeds of coriander. Coriander, otherwise known as cilantro, or get this. Hang on, I've got it written on the cue card. Busted looking at the cue card. Coriandrum sativum. Coriander. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to propagate it into a little jiffy pellet. Now, I've used these pellets a lot on the show. Now, they start off like this, like a little disc, and you soak them in water, and they swell up like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of these coriander or cilantro seeds into these jiffy pellets. Now, the interesting thing that I learned a while back is that every coriander seed actually contains 2 halves, and each of those halves will grow into another plant. So I like to give it the patented Benny squeeze, just to break that coriander seed in half. I'm going to poke a few holes. I'll do it here actually. I'm going to poke a few holes into the top of this jiffy pellet, and I'm going to use this. Now, trying desperately to get a joke of the week out. Joke of the week is turning out to be a little bit like pulling teeth. So the doctor, the dentist took an x-ray of my tooth. In fact, I guess you could say she took a toothpick. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba! There it is, joke of the week. As we do live gardening, I'm going to poke a few little holes into the top of this jiffy pellet. And I'm going to pop in a couple of these coriander seeds. Just push them in. Maybe do 3 or 4 on each one. 1, 2. I might plant a whole seed and see what happens. See if it gets 2 little side plants coming from. So there we go, we've got those in. Now, it's all going wrong as we spontaneously try to do Monday Morning Live. What do we do when we plant something new? We give it some water, because you can never underestimate the value of water. We're going to do so using the Benny's 6100 series spritzer. Available in the gift shop. Why not buy 2? Mum says, oh, this little thing is called a sprig. A sprig. That makes sense. Why didn't I think of that? Just some water for our coriander seeds that we've just sown. Shout out to Mitch. Thank you for tuning in. I believe this may be your first time tuning into Monday Morning Live. Boy, you picked a disappointing show to start with. Let's get into this day in rock history. I haven't researched, as I say, so I'm going to do this sort of spontaneously. Just got the tablet here, and just prior to the show, the only bit of research, the only bit of sort of prep work that I did is I pre-searched this day in music history, and I'm just going to scroll through and see if I can pick out anything exciting that happened on this day in rock history. Hot chocolate. Oh, chocolate. Remember that chocolate? One Hit Wonders, stories. Brian Wilson rejoined the Beach Boys. Great. Oh, the Beatles. Here we go. Something about the Beatles. Now, I think the Beatles are going to be big. You heard it here first. This day in rock history. In 1965, 2 female Beatles fans hired a helicopter to fly over the house the Beatles were renting in Beverly Hills, California, and jumped from the helicopter into the swimming pool. Fancy that. They jumped from the helicopter into the Beatles swimming pool on this day in rock history. What were they thinking? The Beatles are just going to go, well, yeah, you seem like a nice gal. Come on in. I like the way you fell. Terrible George Harrison impersonation. What does it say? Mint Marlboro Day, brother. Yes, yes, miss it. Why? Did you move away? Where did you go? Shout out to my good man Mitch. We've done live gardening. We have taken, we've done this day in rock history. We've done joke of the week. What else are we going to do? Well, let's play What's in the Bag. Now, this is where my lack of prep really gets shown, because I didn't actually bring the bag with me this week. So, there we go. I'm just going to grab it. And let's just pretend that that little stuff up didn't happen, because it's time to play What's in the Bag? As I say, I went to the dentist today, and what do you do when you've just been to the dentist? Eat some chocolate. This is from Hogarth. Now, we sell this chocolate on the information kiosk, the People's Kiosk, at the Marlborough Farmers Market every Sunday morning from 9 until 12. This is a hazelnut Jandua. Jandua. It's a cool word to say. Jandua just means that it's got a high proportion of hazelnut. This is made with 30% hazelnut. Handmade. Interesting. Handmade? What's the alternative? Made with your feet? They didn't sell well. Disastrous marketing campaign. The foot crafted chocolate. Anyway, let's get our bearings here. Never underestimate the value of water. Big turnout today. Well, that's a good start. So there's a good little tab there that you tear. We're just going to poke our thumb in there, pull it out, take a look. Nice packaging, gold packaging. We're going to try this hazelnut Jandua. Jandua. Not even sure if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Probably should have done some research. Let's try some. Tastes a little bit like Nutella. Not surprising. Very nice. Lovely gold packaging. It's funny because, talking about the dentist, you know, when you go to the dentist, they always have that little sign at the back. It's like a gold sign with their name and their qualification. You know, some dentists like to make a big deal of it. Some just have a smaller, more subtle sign. I guess you could say you can always choose a good dentist based on the fact that they have a little plaque. It's never too late for another joke of the week. Thank you for joining us, Jacob William. Hey, Jacob. Hey, thanks, buddy. Thanks for joining. 2 weeks in a row. Let's keep the momentum going there, eh? Right, we've given shout-outs to everyone who joins us live. I don't think I've had this many people actually watching. So, for a show that I didn't actually prepare for, sorry, it's been a massive letdown, but hey, that's me. Right, final thought. I want to say a big thank you to everybody who has supported me in temporarily managing the Marlborough Farmers Market. It was a big step for me getting back into having some form of responsibility. But I want to thank each and every one of you for your support. Coming to the Marlborough Farmers Market, I want to thank each and every one of you that joins me on my YouTube channel, which is Monday Morning Live. Couldn't be simpler. While you're there, subscribe if you're on board, because I'm Benny Ward. Subscriptions are free for the first 500 million subscribers. So join me on Monday Morning Live. Join me here every Monday morning for Monday Morning Live. Get it right. Join me at the Farmers Market. And I will see you next time in the garden. Because diamonds are forever, unlike teeth. And so is Monday Morning Live. That was okay. Not too bad.